Hello everyone. In this video I want to talk about sales comparison. And sales comparison is the primary technique that appraisers use to determine the value of a property, especially homes. And here is the definition of sales comparison. You can also get this on the article. Essentially, sales comparison is a comparative approach to value that considers the sales of similar or substitute properties and related market value, market data, and establishes a value estimate by processes involving comparison. So what we're doing here is we're taking sales of properties that are similar to our subject property and comparing them to the subject property in order to come up with a value. In order to do that, we need to make, and you'll hear this term from appraisers often, we need to make adjustments to the data. Adjustments. And what adjustments are, they are mathematical changes made to basic data to facilitate comparison or understanding. So as we'll see in an example here, if we have a sale across the street of a home that's very similar to ours, but it has a swimming pool and ours doesn't, we're going to make an adjustment using math in order to make it sort of an apples and apples comparison. We'll either add or deduct from the sale price of the comparable in order to make it similar to our subject property. The way you determine how much you should add or subtract from the sale of a comparable is by using something called paired sales. Paired sales, or that's what we say in Hawaii, but in a lot of the country it's called paired data analysis. And paired data analysis, as you can see, is a quantitative technique used to identify and measure adjustments to the sale prices or rents of comparable properties. So let's just see what all that looks like. I'm going to scroll down here to something called an adjustment schedule. Right here, this is an adjustment schedule. And if you've ever had an appraisal done on your home, adjustment schedule, if you ever had appraisal done, you'll see that appraisers will take the characteristics of your subject property, and essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to determine the sale price of your subject property, but we don't know that yet, so let's kind of X that out. But like the characteristic of your subject property, let's just say the neighborhood is Mililani, which is where I live, and let's say the home you're appraising has 3 bedrooms. Now comp number 1, let's say we know it sold for $440,000 and that it's also in Mililani, but it has 4 bedrooms. And comp number 2 sold for $400,000. It's also in Mililani, but it has 3 bedrooms. So if we didn't know anything else about this, you could tell right away that comparable 2, which sold for $400,000, it's located in Mililani, just like our subject. The subject has 3 bedrooms, it has 3 bedrooms. So just by doing a little bit of deduction, you could see that the subject property is probably worth about $400,000 because there would be no adjustment necessary for Mililani and there's no adjustment necessary for the 3 bedrooms. So you would take that $400,000 and it would fall right to the bottom line, and it would be $400,000 is the value of our subject property if you were just going to use one comparable. But how about comp 1? Let's do a little paired sales. Paired sales. The only difference between comp 1 and comp 2, since they're both located in Mililani, and this is all the information we know, is that comp 1 is a 4-bedroom house and comp 2 is a 3-bedroom house. Now comp 1 sold for $440,000, comp 2 for $400,000. That means comp 1, or better to say comp 2, sold for $40,000 less. $40,000 less than comp 1. So if you want to adjust a sale of a 4-bedroom home to that of a 3-bedroom home, like our subject, you need to deduct $40,000 from the purchase price. So let's do that, minus $40,000 right here. and that indicates a value of $400,000. So if these were the only two comparables we had and these are the only two things we knew about the sales, we would probably conclude that the value of our subject house was $400,000. We can make this a little trickier if we move down to a little bit more complex adjustment schedule. These are the same Comp 1 and Comp 2 over here, and we already know that Comp 2 is similar to our subject property. It's located in Mililani. It's a 3-bedroom, but we've added a variable here, a swimming pool. Our subject has a swimming pool. Turns out the Comp 2 also has a swimming pool. So it's the same here. So there'll be no adjustment for Mililani, no adjustment for 3 bedrooms, and no adjustment for swimming pool. So once again, the value of Comp 2 is going to fall to the bottom line and be $400,000. Earlier with paired sales, we found out that the value of a 4th bedroom, all things being equal, is $40,000. That if you wanted to adjust a 4-bedroom home to a 3-bedroom home, you needed to deduct $40,000. So if we do that, that subtotal, we'll take the 400,000 because there's no adjustment for Mililani. 440,000, deduct 40,000, you're down to 400,000. And once again, Comp 1 also has a pool, so there's no further deduction. You're at 400,000. But what about Comp 3? Let's change ink colors here. Comparable number 3 sold for $380,000, but like the subject, it's located in Mililani. It's got 3 bedrooms, just like the subject, so there's going to be no adjustment for Mililani and no adjustment for 3 bedrooms, but the difference is it doesn't have a pool. So what we're searching for now is the sale of a property that is similar to Comp 3 in every way except for pool, and it's Comp 2. Comp 2 is in Mililani, and so is Comp 3. Comp 2 is a 3-bedroom, and so is Comp 3, but Comp 3 has a swimming pool and we do not. So what's the value of a swimming pool? If you're trying to take a comparable that does not have a swimming pool and adjust it to one that does, what's the difference? Well, the difference in the sale price is between $400,000 and $380,000. So in other words, comparable number 2 sold for $20,000 more than comparable number 3. And so it has a swimming pool just like we have a swimming pool. So we're going to make no adjustment for Mililani. We're going to make no adjustment for 3 bedrooms, but we're going to add $20,000 to the sale price of Comp 3. So we're going to 380,000 plus 0 plus 0 plus 20,000 equals $400,000. So once again, in this sort of classroom example, we've got 3 comps that equal $400,000. We've done 2 types of paired sales. We did a pairing for bedrooms that said that an extra bedroom is worth $40,000. We had a pairing for swimming pool that said a swimming pool is worth $20,000. And so we're able to conclude that our subject property is worth $400,000. Hope this was informative. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments box. Aloha.